What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. So first of all, I already did this video once. Instead of recording, I actually hit stream. So if you follow me on twitch.tv/Team FISHKNUCKLES, you could have got alerted and saw this video a lot earlier and saw me rant probably a lot more than what I'm probably about to do. Because my first video, I ranted about everything. Whatever. There's a little blooper for the day. Cut to some weird edit that I don't know how to do. Alright, so today, what we're doing is we're talking about something that, just makes me really mad in the Pokemon community that people do sometimes. And I hate that I already recorded this and whatever. We got this out of the way. Alright, so obviously, so what we're gonna do today is talk about first of all, hey, how you doing? My name is Josh Squeaky Marking. This is my beautiful face. This is my green screen. You see, it's a piece of cloth from Walmart, so that's why if you see some stuff always messing up, I got a light bulb right here, and I got another lamp right here, so those are my two lamps. That's why my beautiful face. So yeah. So what we're doing today is we're going to make a quick little video of something that happened this past weekend that makes me, it's probably what makes me, like, most mad or ticked off or whatever about Pokemon, and it's basically complaining, which I know seems very weird to talk about, but when I go into more into detail, you'll understand what I'm talking about and why I pretty much got upset at this person or got really, I don't know, angry, frustrated, whatever. So what happened? So people in the stream are saying come back TFK. So what happened is this past weekend, I'm not going to say any names or what it was, there was a stream happening, right? And in game number one, this person, the person who, hold on, I gotta turn this off. Their Twitch is bugging me right now. Okay, turn off Twitch. There we go, we're better. Alright, so back to the story. So what happened is, there's a tournament, and there's 3 rounds. Game number one, the person who's not complaining lost, the person who complained won. Alright, that's Pokemon, stuff happens, people win and lose. It is the best 2 out of 3. And the next game, the person who would start complaining lost, and the person who doesn't complain obviously won. So what would happen is this person would say, oh man, I wouldn't have lost if I prized these cards. Okay, from the start, like, why are you telling your opponent you prize stuff? Whatever. I mean, they always know what deck you're playing. And the cards he's talking about were very obvious cards. But your opponent doesn't care that you prize cards and you lost. I'm just going to let you know that. That just makes you seem like not a good person. Not a very person I want to hang out with. I don't really care. It basically shows that you're kind of cocky, right? I think you're showing, like, you're arrogant. You thought you'd win this, whatever. The thing to note is that I didn't watch game number one. I should have watched game number two. I came in during game number two, but not game number one. I should have went back and watched it. But at game number one, the person who lost supposedly dead drew. Right? That's Pokemon. Another factor that happens. People dead draw. That's why this game is luck based. Stuff happens. You dead draw. You prize stuff. This is what happens to Pokemon, right? And the person who dead draw, they didn't complain. They didn't was like, oh man, I could have won. And if anything, that person should have complained because that person had the advantage over the other person. Like, the person who lost game number one should have easily won game number one if everything's set up correctly. And that's why they won game number two. Now, I will give the benefit, if that person didn't prize these 2 Pokemon, they probably would have had a little bit better of a chance. But even then, it's not a winnable matchup. It's definitely not a winnable matchup for the person who complained. And that's my main thing. So the person complained that they prized Pokemon. Alright, so step number one, they've already made a mistake. They are complaining that they prize cards. Whatever. So during game and during setup between game number 2 and game number 3, that person then talks about how they would have won. What? They started talking about how they would have played this card down, they would have brought this up, they would have done this, and they would have won. They would have, in the next turn, they would have done this. Nobody cares. Your opponent does not care how you hypothetically were going to beat them. Why are you going to say this? I don't care if you have all your friends around them and they're freaking out, whatever, and they know, oh man, blah 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 applies these cards. Nobody cares. No, your friends don't care how you could have won. Obviously, if you have these cards, you might have could have won that way. That's Pokemon, but who says you would have won? What did they end you? What did they Guzman? What did they did whatever to change the board state? nobody knows what would have happened if you prized the card. And yeah, it does suck, right? I get it. It sucks. You play 2 of these Pokemon, you prize both of them. It sucks. I get it. It happens. But it's Pokemon. That's what happens. That's why there is a prize card pool, so that hypothetical situation can happen. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's multiple times where I prize my Pokemon and like, oh man, if I would have had these Pokemon, if I didn't have these cards prized, I would have won. That's every person. Oh my goodness. So not only did they complain they prized the 2 Pokemon, they then talked about how they would have won. If that doesn't show how cocky they are, then I don't know what is, and that's just like bad sportsmanship. I'm pretty sure that's against like the Pokemon rules, and you could have maybe called a judge on that. Maybe, I don't know, pretty extreme, right? But still, I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. And yeah, the guys shouldn't have probably mic'd, right? They shouldn't probably have been mic'd, so we couldn't hear their talk, whatever. I know these guys are friends. I don't know. Maybe they're not friends. Maybe they are friends. I have no idea. I don't know who these 2 people are. Don't care. That doesn't change the point. Don't ever do that. Oh my goodness. Especially, I mean, maybe they didn't know they were mic'd. I think they knew they were mic'd. But regardless, you shouldn't do that. Whatever. And I guess it doesn't really work in this example, but in some situations, if you know you're going to lose because you have certain cards prized, just scoop. Just scoop. You know you got the cards prized. Just scoop. Who cares? But the guy who complained would eventually win game number 3 because of time. Time was called. His deck is more aggressive. I will give you that much. But after the aggressive couple turns, the other players should easily just win that matchup. I feel like it. Maybe I'm crazy. But I feel like that person should have easily won. Whatever, each their own. Whatever. Whatever. I mean, unfortunately I was cheering for that person to lose because they acted that way. But it's whatever. It's whatever. So okay. So and that's, like I said, that's the biggest thing to ever do, right? Especially to your opponent, but also to your friends. Don't go complain to your friends afterwards. Maybe unless your friends love to hear this story. One of the biggest things, we're talking about some pet peeves today, I guess, right? The next big thing that kind of like irritates me is if people come up to me and they're like, hey, they're like, they just act all sad and they're salty. I'm like, what's wrong? I don't even want to say what's wrong. First of all, I usually just ignore them. Like, I don't care. Like, I just don't care sometimes. But sometimes, like, oh, man, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have to say, what's wrong? So what's wrong, buddy? What's wrong, Billy? And Billy would go, oh, Squeaky, I end my opponent to 2, and they hit Guzma. And then right there, I just want to smack them. And I'm like, that's Pokemon. They have Guzmas in the deck. That's why they put them in there, so they could win. That's just a part of the game. If they didn't hit their Pokemon early, guess what? You could have knocked them out because they didn't have a Pokemon on the bench. You could have won because they had no supporter card. Yeah, they hit Guzma into 2. Who cares, right? That's just how the game works. Don't come crying to me. Instead, come tell me how your game went. Maybe there was a mistake, and you realize that, and you capitalize that, and you're like, oh man, I could have won if blase. Like, you could play everything perfectly, and you still lose. That's just life. It happens in real life. It happens in Pokemon. You're just going to get over it and just don't complain about it. Like, oh my goodness, there's so much, like, negativity in this world, and I just always try to look on the positive side of things, like, oh man, if I would have done this, I could have won, blah blah blah. Don't be so negative, especially in Pokemon. Like, come on, man. So I guess that's really the 2 big things. The biggest thing, it was that guy just like being so cocky and arrogant. Like, oh, come on, man, that's just nasty. I mean, maybe I'm weird for complaining about this, but it's whatever. I don't know. I hate to say it's a card game, right? But there's a lot of money on the line. There was like, the winner gets $2,000. I'm pretty sure second place gets $1,000. So I understand there's a lot on the line, and you're upset because you lost game number 2, and it's a bad matchup, and you think you're going to lose game number 3. I understand that completely. But don't go complaining to your opponent. Come on now. Just show like some good sportsmanship. Show that you know what you're doing. And then, like I said, you can complain to your friends. I don't really care, unfortunately. I do care if you lose or win. Don't keep it wrong. I wish good luck to everybody. I want to hear if you won or lost. Don't worry, I want to hear that. I just don't want to hear you complain that you got into 2 and your opponent hit Guzma. Now, it's a different story, and I know it's probably still something you don't want to say to all your friends, but if I got into 2 and I hit Guzma, I'm going to go to my friends like, oh, they tried to end me to 2, and I hit Guzma. I got so lucky. But then you still feel kind of bad because what at the same time that happened to your friend that same game, and then now you're in the situation of, oh man, I'm really happy and go lucky my friend's in the same situation, and whatever, that's some weird stuff, whatever. But yeah, that's the two things that pretty much get me like the most like, I don't know, mad or whatever about Pokemon. But is there something else that kind of triggers you? I mean, not triggers you, I guess is the wrong thing to say, that annoys you in Pokemon? I know some people don't like when their opponents like shuffle their hands really fast, that their decks are tilt. Maybe they play on opposite sides, which they really can't help that because they're left-handed and right-handed. Get with the picture. Maybe there's like something else that like kind of makes you upset or ticks you or just really upsets you. Just let me know down below what that is. I'm really, I really am interested to see if that really, are people like really upset as I am about the situation, or am I just like going crazy for some reason and I just losing all hope right now. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great Wednesday. Tomorrow is Expanded Thursday. I don't know what deck we're playing. We'll figure it out. Friday, I do know what deck we're playing, but that's a secret. Shout out to you-know-who for hooking me up with the cards. Alright, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty. Bye.